Today, I'm going to talk about using a daytime appliance. One thing a lot of people ask is, do you have to wear the Reviv during the day or only at night? My traditional answer is you should wear the Reviv at least 2 to 3 hours a day. But if you want to progress faster, then you probably should wear something more than that. And I'll explain what some of the options are. And also, let me explain why you should wear a daytime appliance a little bit. One thing you hear a lot of people say when they start Reviv early on is that when they wake up, their bite is one way and then it's shifted. And then after a little while, it shifts back to their old occlusion. And the reason for that is things have moved and the soft tissue is stretched, but the soft tissue wasn't ready to completely kind of fully stretch yet. And so in my view, it pulls things back. And you have this small posterior open bite that starts opening up where if you allow that to close, that facilitates this pulling back of the soft tissue. And therefore, what you want is to just continue to keep this in a stretch for as much as you can. And therefore, for as long as you can put things into a stretch during the day, that's a good thing. And some people ask me, can I wear my Reviv 24 hours a day? Yeah, if that works for you and, you don't have a job or anything, you don't need to talk to people, be my guest. But for most people, that's not really an option because they have to go to an office or whatnot. The other thing I would say is just give the example of my son. So my son was 6 and he had a small posterior open bite and we were trying to kind of just use a myo brace with him. Didn't have the composite yet. This was before we put composite on him in 2021. He was decent about wearing it at night, the myo brace, but then he would be completely kind of open bite during the day. And I was monitoring him for some months. And my kind of conclusion was that he wasn't really progressing. And sometimes I even thought he was getting worse. That just kind of shows you that if you're only wearing a myo brace at night and you're not wearing anything, you're not wearing if you're only wearing Reviv at night and you're not wearing anything during the day, not even a little bit, things could get worse. What are your daytime options? One is using the Reviv. So I recommend at least 2 or 3 hours a day, and that is more or less just to kind of prevent things from relapsing at all during the day. So if you only use it for 2 or 3 hours, I would space it out so that you're using it every couple hours for at least half an hour. And that is just to prevent regression during the day, right? So you're making your progress at night, you're preventing regression during the day, but you're not really making progress during the day. Second option is clip-ons. So clip-ons are these little polymorph things that you make. You only have to wear them on one side, but they're very fast. And the benefit is you can't really see them, right? You put them on your back teeth just on one side, and it's very hard for someone else to see them. You can talk, you can go to the office, right? Whereas with the Reviv, you can't really wear it, when you're talking to other people or you go to the office, whatnot. It's very challenging. So the clip-ons, the benefit is you can just put it on and leave it on all day. And that's what I recommend to most folks that are in the school community, because I think pretty much prevents any regression, and you'll even stretch a bit during the day, so you're making progress during the day and at night. Another one is a flat plane splint. So flat plane splint, first of all, you usually need to get it made by a dentist. It's very hard to make your own flat plane splint because they're usually made out of dental resin. So they need to be made in a lab, and so therefore they cost money. You can buy, there's labs that are relatively cheap. You can buy one on Amazon for $150, a lower splint, but they do fit to your bottom teeth as well. And therefore they kind of hold your lower teeth. Part of how you improve is by allowing the teeth to move. And so you're kind of slowing down your progress a little bit by locking the teeth into the splint. And because the teeth are going to try to move anyway, you should try to change your splint every couple months, because the teeth, regardless of the fact that the splint is sitting on top of them for part of the day, the teeth are probably going to move anyway, and then your splint is going to start to not fit very well. That's why you got to change your flat plane splint every couple months. And then option 4 is wearing nothing. So you can only wear nothing if you get really good at the stretching, right? And the stretching takes time. I probably spend in total a couple hours during the day stretching, and I'm very efficient at it. So I know how to do it so that it builds pressure in my head, and then it takes a couple hours for that pressure to release, and I can feel that. So I know, when do I need to start stretching again, and therefore I would say I'm even progressing during the day, despite the fact that I'm not wearing an appliance. But I do not recommend you try to do that at the beginning, because I've spent 10 years, doing these stretches, and then you're still learning to feel things. So until you're like 6 to 12 months into this and you're confident about your stretches, I wouldn't rely on that. So some closing thoughts. I generally recommend to folks doing Revive to go with the clip-on option. I find that like you just forget that you even have it and you're going to continue to stretch all day. Polymorph is very inexpensive. It allows you to change the clip-on every week or two, and therefore like you're fully allowing your teeth to continue to adjust all the time. And I think it's the best option. If that doesn't work for you, right, there's other options like the flat plane splint, wearing the Revive a couple hours a day, or getting really good at the stretching. But you should do something during the day. Otherwise things will, close back up a little bit and you'll slow down your progress.